What are the black swans we're concerned about with respect to this election?
Well, what's interesting is, Trump obviously is the big black swan looming on the landscape there. One of the things that our reporters discovered in putting this piece together is the other thing that the market is really talking about is what if there's a Democratic sweep? That's the other thing that really could kind of rile people up and really throw some uncertainty into the markets if Hillary Clinton not only wins, but there's also a Democratic Congress, because there could be much more extreme things happening that, investors may not like.
So what asset class will we see the most volatility in reaction to some kind of black swan?
Well, what people are looking at a lot is financial services and pharmaceuticals, drug companies. So not just rhetorically, but from a regulatory perspective, there's a lot of concern out there that financial services, given that both sides, and especially the Clinton side, especially fueled by the Bernie Sanders wing of the party, have talked a lot about Wall Street, a lot about increasing regulation on financial services firms, and also about drug pricing. That is something that people have certainly taken aim at. And again, the question is, where does the rhetoric meet the regulatory action?
I love that you brought up the drug pricing, David. This is a great chart on the Bloomberg here. It takes a look at the Clinton-Trump spread. So as it moves higher, it means Clinton is gaining in the polls. It's that blue line. And the white line is Novo Nordisk. And you can really see that whenever Clinton winds up gaining, you do see the stock take a hit. In particular, I'm looking at October, see a big boon there for Clinton, and then the stock really taking a hit there. So it is the drug pricing front and center for these guys.
So if you're picking winners and losers, depending on who wins, drugs appear to be a loser if Hillary Clinton wins. And the reciprocal true for Donald Trump. What about banks?
Well, banks, the question really is, again, given everything that people have talked about rhetorically, it's been a big issue for Clinton down to the speeches that she gave after she left the Obama administration. You wonder about what happens with Dodd-Frank. You wonder about what happens with something like carried interest. That's something that's very near and dear to the private equity firms like Blackstone and KKR and others. That's seen as sort of a tax loophole that could get closed. And so you sort of wonder how that plays through, given how much the banks have been in the crosshairs, really on both sides of the aisle.
Well, I was going to say, in fairness, both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have indicated they want to pull back from carried interest. Both lose on that one.
That's exactly right. And that's one of the most interesting things about this election is there hasn't been much that the candidates have agreed on, but Wall Street has not done well on either side.
The one thing they do agree on is infrastructure.
Yeah.
These are two candidates who have both declared, in fact, that they would commit themselves to infrastructure. I just want to say one thing about Hillary Clinton, though. If you look at her record as a senator, she has been consistently somebody who was willing to work with her opposition, her adversaries, over and over again. And so I'm not sure the market's anxiety over a Hillary Clinton presidency is well placed, if it exists, because she's generally been pragmatic in the way she's gone about it. And you've seen that, by the way, in the WikiLeaks release of her so-called speeches or alleged speeches.
Yeah, and there's a lot of disputation in this election, but Republicans who worked with her in the Senate will say the same thing you just said, that they could work with her.
Yeah.
And it does seem, to Matt's exact point, that a Clinton presidency, which is essentially priced in at this point, is probably okay with most investors. What they worry about is this Democratic sweep.